On November 13th, Mario speedrunner Niftski made history by beating the record in Super Mario Bros. Any percent by over 200 milliseconds.
Yes! Yes! 430! Oh my god! I lost a frame on X, I don't care!
Why is this record so iconic? And what is the fate of this run's future? The biggest thing I want to talk about is the succession of so many glitches back to back in such a short period of time. And before I start explaining any tech here, I want to quickly state that a lot of this information is going to be very simplified. This is due to the fact that a lot of this tech has been explained far in depth already. If you want a deeper understanding of what goes on behind top level Super Mario Bros. Speedruns, I recommend watching 2 videos from Bismuth. Links in the description and on screen. Without further ado, let's go into it. 1-1 flagpole glitch. Normally, the fastest way to beat the end of the level is to touch the very top of the flagpole. This is all about Mario getting off the pole and entering the castle as quickly as possible. You may think that grabbing the bottom of the flagpole is faster, but you have to keep in mind that grabbing the bottom still requires you to wait for the flag to come down. The reason why the top is faster is due to Mario accelerating faster in the air over the ground. If you notice a comparison here, this saves just enough time for a faster Framerule. The flagpole glitch is a trick that allows Mario to grab the bottom of the flagpole by clipping into the block and grabbing the flagpole just low enough to skip the animation of the flag coming down. This trick requires multiple frame and pixel perfect inputs, so just getting this trick once is very impressive in a run. 1-2 pipe clip. You cannot slow down at all during the level as it will affect Mario's subpixel position, which makes the clip at the end of the level way harder of a task. Clipping into the pipe requires releasing B really quick and performing a 1-frame jump. If you thought that was hard enough, you need Mario to run far enough right to load the warp zone, and to save the Framerule, you need to instantly jump back to the left, which just watching the run, you can tell is really tight timing. 4-1 flagpole glitch. Another flagpole glitch in a similar fashion to 1-1 is pulled off. With the inputs being this precise and not being 100% consistent with runners, pulling this off more than once in a run is very impressive. 4-2 Blaze It clip. I don't want to go fully in depth here, but I really recommend Bismuth's video for this level. To quickly explain this, the intended way to get to the warp zone normally is by hitting the block to reveal a vine. What speedrunners can do instead of having to climb up that vine is to take advantage of wrong warping. Wrong warping is warping to an area in an unintended way by the developers. By messing with the screen position, we can trick the game to load the warp zone here instead of the coin cache sublevel. This wrong warp trip will also come into play in 8-4 as well. 8-1. There isn't as much technical explanation in this level. There are a lot of tight jumps needed to clear this level quickly, which can prove to be harder with stress. There's also a note that hitting the star block at the right time will guarantee you to get the faster Framerule. Again, I could go way further into why, but that is not my job. I do recommend watching some other in-depth videos about that. 8-2. Earlier bullet bill glitch. This level is where all the time saved in the new record comes from. Before explaining this new time save, let's just go over how this level is done fast in general. You may notice that at the beginning of speedruns for this game, runners will start the game at a specific time based on their split timer. Why the timer matters so much is because the bullet bills are affected by how long the game has been powered on. This isn't the only thing to worry about though. You need to bounce on specific Koopas to get the right bullet bill pattern to occur. This eventually leads to setting up for the bullet bill glitch. This glitch is very similar to the flagpole glitch. Timing your jump just right with the bullet bill will allow you to grab the flagpole low enough to where Mario gets pushed out of the block and the timer instantly starts counting down. This saves you a couple of Framerules due to not having to wait for the flagpole to go down and for Mario to walk to the castle. On top of the very precise setup already needed for this trick, there is also another factor called the coin toss. Collision is only handled on every other frame in this game. The trick can be pulled off just right and still only be achieved 50% of the time. This leads to an even lower completion rate of a top level speedrun of this game. This isn't it for this level though. This glitch has been performed in speedruns for multiple years now. So what's new in this record? It has been known for a while in tool-assisted speedruns that you can arrive to the bullet bill glitch just quick enough to save another Framerule. It wasn't until recently that humans discovered it was possible. Even Bismuth's video that I am cross-referencing said that this would not be doable in a run.
8-2 is considered to be the most unlikely level where humans could match the task.
Speedruns constantly evolve and change. I talked with the new world record holder, Niftski, about how humans can finally achieve this time save. He said that previously it was thought to only be possible through a fast acceleration at the beginning of the level. A fast accel, or acceleration, involves quickly jumping, while Mario faces the other direction. Mario accelerates faster from a stop when facing the opposite direction. This can be done in real runs, and has even been used in 8.4 for record, but is not really feasible for getting a faster 8.2. What was found out recently is that you actually don't need a fast accel. Without using a fast accel, you can still save that extra frame rule with 0 frames to spare, but this makes 8.2 a lot harder. Previously, there was some wiggle room in 8.2, but now there really isn't. Niftski also stated that you can't just jump onto the bullet bill like you normally would, or you'd be 1 frame off that task frame rule. A player named Kriller found a setup to get around this which manipulates your Y position. This lets you hit the very front of the bullet bill as seen here. This also allows you to win the previously explained coin toss. This involves doing a frame-perfect free frame jump off the top of the stairs. This new frame rule time save has not been done in runs until Niftski's new record. Many were actually shocked when they found out a new frame rule was saved. There is a lot of effort and precise gameplay just to save a fraction of a second, but this new time save isn't the last impressive performance in this run. 8.3 flagpole glitch. If you thought the run was already crazy enough, you still need to pull off another flagpole glitch, which we already said is not always guaranteed. This flagpole glitch also has another factor. If you just keep running through the level right normally, the timer will end up being 2:43. But this is an issue due to the fact that if the timer ends in 3, you will get fireworks, hence losing time. If you watch back in Niftski's record, you will notice that he lets go of run briefly halfway through the level and intentionally slows down. This slowdown is just enough time for the timer to be a 2:42 instead of a 2:43. On top of that, there is another technical factor to worry about for the actual flagpole glitch execution at the end. If you're curious about it, I recommend this Bismuth video. I will include the specific timestamp right here. If you pull this trick off successfully, you are almost done, but you still can't slack off. We got one more level to spare. 8-4. The final level. This is where the run will either go down as something historic or end tragically. What is notable to remember here is that every frame counts. You are not worrying about frame rules here. This is why I have noted that some records in the past have gone for fast accels to quickly get speed. Runners have done this in 8.4 and runs in the past due to needing it to get the record, or simply gambling for that extra time save if they think it's worth it. There are multiple areas that a player could use fast accel in 8.4. Understandably, with how crazy the run already was, Niftski decided to not do any fast accels. He has an entire frame rule, or 0.35 seconds of time save, to work with here. Frame rules not mattering here is why Niftski did not beat the previous record by exactly 0.35 seconds. This can be used to figure out how much slower Niftski was in 8.4 over the previous record held by Kosmic. Niftski said that his record's 8.4 was 8 frames slower than Kosmic's record. Watching Kosmic's now old world record, he used 1 fast accel in the turnaround room, and the rest of the time save is just from having a cleaner level. Not having the fastest 8.4 is understandable after saving a new frame rule and a godly run that no one else has ever pulled off before.
Oh my gosh, dude!
He may have lost 8 frames against Kosmic's 8.4, but with that entire frame rule saved in 8.2, Niftski officially claimed the Super Mario Bros. Any percent world record with a 455.430.
Yes! Yes! 430! Oh my god! I lost a frame on X, I don't care! 455.430!
Saving 216 milliseconds off the record. All that amazing work just for that time save. That's the beauty of time save in speedrunning. Just going over what is done in the run is one story. I personally wanted to talk to Niftski a bit about what else makes this run iconic. The first notable factor is, this is the first world record achieved on an emulator since June of 2014. A player who went by the name Blubler, who now goes by Saradoc, achieved a 457.693 using the FCEUX emulator. Over 2 seconds have been saved between these two records that have been achieved on emulator. Many people will argue that this run is not as legit due to being on an emulator, and that's a discussion for another video that I actually plan on tackling at some point. But what I can say is, Super Mario Bros. Is one of the best games to speedrun on an emulator. The NES is such an old console, the emulation is very accurate, and with knowledge over time, it is easier than ever to find out if a runner is cheating. First of all, somebody can't come out of nowhere and post a new record. Generally, players spend months, if not years, to get to this point. Generally, a player with a longer play history will have a run accepted quicker. Proof is also another huge factor. Obviously you need video footage, but on top of that, Niftski also had a separate recording of just his desktop. This can prove that he didn't just enter any cheats, play a recording, splice the footage, etc. Some emulator runners also record their inputs while they play, so others can verify it. In Niftski's record, you can see his inputs on his keyboard, which shows that it's actually him playing in real time. I want to ask Niftski about his thoughts on using a keyboard versus a normal controller. Some people will find this weird, but it's kinda unique. Niftski responded by saying, "It's definitely more comfortable to play on keyboard than using console for me. I guess it's just completely up to whatever is more comfortable for you. As long as you are not doing inhuman inputs like pressing left and right at the same time, anything is fair game in speedrunning." I also wanted to ask about the future of this run and where it can go further. Niftski said he was only one frame off of saving a TAS-only 4-2 frame rule in practice, but what he actually achieved in record is best human 4-2 frame rule with only 3 frames to spare. I wouldn't bet on that time save as much. Besides this currently unachievable frame rule, the other places for improvement are 8.1 and 8.4. Doing a fast accel when starting the level and doing a flagpole glitch in 8.1 can just barely save you another frame rule. And as stated before, 8.4 has no frame rules to worry about, which means individual frames can always be saved. I suspect that no matter what, there will always be frames to be saved in 8.4. We are human after all, and it's up to the human limit to determine how far somebody wants to go. With this run now in the history books, I asked Niftski what his future plans were. He said he's taking a break from the category for a while, which is very much understandable, it's earned, it's very respected. His new focus is improving the world record in another Super Mario Bros. Category called Minus World Ending, which requires beating the -1 world, which uses a glitch in 1-2 on the Famicom version of the game. What's amazing about this is that Niftski already has the record in this category as of recording. He beat the world record back in June, and has improved it even further in October. The upside of this run is that it's even shorter than any percent, which means that more attempts can be grinded out. Another goal that he wants to work on is getting a time of 7:54 in Super Mario Bros. 2 The Lost Levels Any Percent. As of recording this, Niftski already has 3rd place in the category with a 7:55.9, and the record is currently a 7:55.317 by Tecate. This year in particular has had a lot of competition in that game, and many time saves are yet to be added into the run. While Niftski is focusing on other goals, he says that he's not done with Super Mario Bros. Any Percent for good. He plans to come back someday, and he wants to get a lower 4:55 or even a 4:54 time in the future. As of recording this, the best human possible time in the category is a 4:54.681. So this is definitely possible, but it will take a lot of work. The record may not be beaten this year, or maybe the next year, or the next year, but someday someone, whether it's Niftski or not, will step up to the plate and redefine the human limit of Super Mario Bros. And that is the beauty of speedrunning. Thank you for watching.